Hi everybody, this is Susan. We're back in my studio today, and what you are looking at is the canvas that Dawn gave me down at Memory Bound here a couple weeks ago for my first Memory Bound Scrapbooking Store design team project. The canvas is 24 inches square, and I was asked to do it up in a holiday theme for Christmas. So what I've used here is I've used the Tim Holtz seasonal paper pack and the Home for the Holidays vintage printed chipboard from Melissa Francis. So there's the overall view of it. Let's get in here a little closer. There you go, you can kind of get a look. And the black frame is something that I've had for quite a long time. It's an old beat up vintage frame, and I just really like it. It's not suitable to put a picture in because it's starting to come apart, and I actually kind of had to hot glue it back together before I could use it. But I really like the way it looks. I wanted this to have a real vintage look to it. I also wanted to do a project that I felt that any scrapbooker could sit down and knock out in an afternoon. I didn't want this part of the canvas to be so complicated that it was overwhelming to a lot of people. And I know there's a lot of people out there that shop the scrapbook stores that don't feel like they could do a real complicated piece. So this part of the canvas I have done for anybody. Anybody could duplicate this in an afternoon. So I'm going to shut off the camera and we're going to move in for some closer shots, and I'll show you what I did and how I did it. Okay guys, I'm back. Let's get in here and get a look at this so you can see what I've done. I'm going to have to adjust the camera several times. Please bear with me. We're going to get in here. Excuse the camera, you know it growls when I get in close. That's the autofocus working. These little frames here, there's the one here, there's one below it, and there's two down in the other corner. And what I wanted to duplicate with this was when I was a kid, I can remember being with my grandma at Christmas time and wanting to make things. And Grandma would sit me down with some cardboard and some finger paints usually, or just some kid type acrylic paints, and we would cut out ornaments in different shapes and paint them, and then we would put glitter on them. So that's kind of the idea there. That's simply a die cut frame that I've painted black with some acrylic paint, and then added in, there you can see the sparkle on it, added some of my ultra fine glitter here, and that's just plain old ultra fine glitter. That's all it is. I like the way it looks. It's got that kind of old-fashioned appeal to it. And then if you come across, there's a bow there that is just simply a bow that I tied. It's pretty easy. I've got one of the Melissa, whoops, I forgot to glue that one on. I've got one of the Melissa Francis tags behind it. And then if you come across here, in this upper corner, I simply have an ornate plate. Let me get in there. And that is just an ATC size cutout from the paper that's in the center of it here. And these are the Tim Holtz rosettes here. And here and here. And I just simply put a hydrangea leaf over the top. Those started out white. I just colored them with my glimmer mist. Is all that I did. Put a button in the center of each one. And then the large flowers here, I simply, let me do something different here. For those flowers, I just simply, like I said, I cut the die cuts on the AccuCut at Memory Bound. And these are hydrangea parts, which again, I've just colored with my glimmer mist. And put them together with hot glue. I mean, it's nothing you can't do. The big flowers, what I did, let me see if I can get a decent shot of that flower. There you go. On the big flowers, what I did was I inked them, and this is fired brick, yes. And this one here is the frayed burlap. And then I used my I'm trying to find it here. My VersaFine, or my Versamark embossing pad, and I put the Versamark on them, and then I sprinkled a little bit of the ultrafine glitter on them, and then I put the embossing powder over the top and embossed them. So they're kind of shiny, they're real shiny, but they've also got some glitter to the petals, and you can't really see it all that well in the video. Whoops, sorry about that. And then the edges I just finished with some gold stickles. And this little postage stamp tag here is one of the Melissa Francis chipboard pieces. And then as you move down the canvas, there are a couple more frames. And again, they're just die cuts, and the papers on the inside are from the paper pad, the Tim Holtz pad. Of course, I've got my pennies on here. You guys know about me and my pennies. Every project has to have some pennies. And there's more flowers there. This is another Melissa Francis chipboard. And then if you come over here, it's more of the same type of flowers. Again, with a chipboard piece here. And I want you to see the background in this. I'm going to see how close I can get without getting a blur. There you go, guys. That is just simply book pages that I have decoupaged to the canvas. And how I prepped my canvas was it was actually a really nice canvas, and Dawn sells these at the store for $15.99. She's got a fantastic price on these canvases. You cannot touch a canvas of this quality at the art store for under $25. It is a really good quality canvas. The front came pre-gessoed, but I wanted it extra tight. So what I did was I gessoed it again, gessoed the whole front of the canvas. Let me get out here. And after I gessoed the whole front of the canvas, I turned it around and I also gessoed the back. I let the front dry completely, flip it around, gesso the back. That will pull your canvas extra tight. And when you're working with gluing things to it, you want it as taut as you can get it. It just makes for a better work surface. So all I did was I gessoed my canvas, and then I decoupaged the papers right to the gesso surface. So now I've got a little surprise for you guys. I'm going to shut the camera off for just a minute, and I'm going to show you what else I've done to this canvas. Hang on.